Son, where'd you find this?
Don't be offended by the truth. They be offended because you called out the truth. Simple as that. They don't want to hear any other narrative that makes them look bad.
One thing I can't stand at this big grown age is somebody who acts like cause and effect does not exist. Like, yes, your actions caused this outcome. Yes, what you did lit the match. Like, why are you surprised and playing victim?
Guys, Chico. They never lie.
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late. They cancel last minute. Forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll.
Mantra, slave song, slave ship, rip skin, made me rip bones. But no matter how close I am, my ancestors speak. They tell me the tide is in front on us like we're weak. I haven't been getting sleep. Longing to sing until I surpass peak. Until they think we are equal, please. All I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their bones would bleed. Begging the generations remember our.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. Happy Wednesday to the good people. I hope you're well, safe on the road, made it safe to your destinations. It's good to be here with you. I got a individual that I'm honored to bring up here to have this conversation today. Do me a solid, like, share, repost, let the people know that we are live. This is going to be a good one. I'm excited. Let's get into the show already. Nat Schooler, I hope I said it right, brother. I'm bringing you up on a big screen. Let's get started. Hold on a minute. Go. What's going on, my man?
Hey, man. It's good to see you.
Likewise.
Just easing into spring weather here, so I'm kind of happy. The sun is out. There's no rain forecast today, so, I'm kind of pretty happy, really. But it's disturbing to see that clip you sent me. I literally just watched it because I was like, you had 3 links there, and I was like, what is this? Are we streaming on my phone at the same time? Like, I just, the multi-streaming thing kind of throws me off sometimes a little bit, if I'm honest. But yeah, it's odd. I mean, straight into that, man. I grew up in the day where if I misbehaved in a shop, my mother would like hit me round the head. Yeah. I mean, come on. It's odd these days. We're living in an odd world where people think that, I don't know, bad behavior is kind of acceptable in many ways, which is kind of sad, right?
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to get into that a little deeper here, man. Let me say shout out to Aldo. Appreciate you for stopping in. That same clip that I showed you, I wanted you to see it ahead of time, so you already got your thoughts together before I actually played it for the public. I'm going to bring it up on the big screen. Yeah, things like this, it's like it's so frequent these days. I often wonder, like, why did we allow it to get this far and this bad? Let me bring this up here real quick for the people who don't know, I mean, you see the title, but you need further context. The child of this woman in the video, I guess they were playing around in the store. The owner of the store wasn't really too happy about it. He had some words, and the mother, well, Mama Bear, this is her reaction to it.
The fuck you thought? Bitch, I'm there for 45 minutes playing with your ass and now you gonna give me something? Bitch, you got me fucked up. Standing on shit, stop playing with me. Bitch, get this shit. The fuck you thought? Starting over, hoe. Go home. Come get it. What? What? You can give me some ass, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do around this bitch. What the fuck? What y'all want? What you want? Touch a kid, I'm gonna fuck you up. What the fuck you want? Let me see you.
Hey.
Touch him. I'm gonna fuck you up. You got the wrong one. Touch him. Touch him. Touch him.
That's you going to teach your kids?
Touch him.
That's what you going to make them like.
Nobody gonna get his ass.
That's how you make your kids.
That's
how you make your kids. That's how you make your kids. That's how you make your kids.
Get my shit.
Stay away. Make a
Damn, man. You walked up on me and got your shit, right? I'm walking on you getting all my shit, bitch. Give me my shit. You walked up on me and got your shit. And they still ain't pulled up. Get my shit. Or give me what the fuck I want. Cause ain't shit moving around this bitch. I got real stick for you trying. Bitch, stop playing.
Why you saying me? I was saying you nothing. I was saying you nothing. I was acting simple. I'm not a...
The fuck you thought?
Wow. It's even more brutal. It's just brutal. Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
That was bad. And look.
Right. But he had no right to hit her, right? Like he tried to hit her, right? And I understand she's abusing him, but we don't know. We don't know what's going on in her life. Like we you know, we can see this video and we can be horrified at her behavior, but we honestly don't know, yeah, what actually is occurring in her life. And that is something that I am worried about, right?
I'm disgusted at the whole thing. For one, I don't even know where to start, man. Her attitude in the right place at the wrong time, that could have ended way worse. Women, this ain't all of you, but I need you to understand something. Nobody should be assaulting anyone. It's not acceptable. Once you cross that threshold, you cannot predict nor tell someone how to respond to that. Because at some point, it is self-defense, right? You elevating your voice and screaming, what did that accomplish? Where was the level of respect for this man's property? Where was the pedestrians that were witnessing the interaction? Why did nobody feel the need to step in and say, look, we can't do this, right? This is a business. Sister, just leave the store, go somewhere else. Let him run his business the way he wants to run his business. But y'all sitting there recording it, just watching the situation go down, that didn't make me feel any better about it. It's like I don't know, the lack of care. The lack of care to me is horrible. Like overall, I didn't like how he it's like he tried his best to just de-escalate the problem. She just kept egging it on and egging it on. I don't know if she spit on him. I could have sworn she spit on him, but she definitely swung at him.
Oh, did she swing? I missed the swing, to be honest.
Yeah, she. It looked like she spit in his direction. Then she swung whatever she had in her hands at him, and then I guess he swung back, or at least he was trying to get her out his space. I don't know, man. It was just terrible to watch.
Awful, just awful. But she's clearly not coping very well, right? She's I'm not defending him, but there are a lot of different things going on here, right? There's the race card as well, because he's not African American, right? And that is another thing, yeah, which comes into all sorts of these confrontations, right? And I mean, I think really everyone should learn martial arts, right? Because actually, when you learn martial arts, like you don't want to fight, right? Like you understand that if you do fight, you're gonna everyone's gonna get hurt, right? In most cases, and you know, yeah, it's just unbelievable. But we don't kind of know really. Like, I mean, he's obviously pushed to another level of stress himself. This guy, he's stressed out of his mind, isn't he?
Here's my issue, right? One, the lack of discipline with your child. Your kids shouldn't be going into other people's spaces being disruptive and disrespectful. I was raised where you're supposed to respect your elders. If I'm in the store with my grandparents or my mom or something, I'm at their side. I'm not running around the store. I'm not snatching stuff off of the rack and doing all that, because I would definitely get hands and feet put on me, you know. And right now in 2026, you can pretty much get away with everything. You can do whatever you want, and there's no discipline for it. And it felt like she was more mad at the store owner than she was actually mad at her kid. And I don't understand that. Now, if the store owner was disrespectful and he was rude and he said some things that were probably racial, which we didn't hear here, but I can understand you having a certain level of temperament. That doesn't give you the right to get in someone's personal space and scream and yell at them. If he stole, if he broke something, call the police. There are ways to navigate this situation without it becoming a screaming contest. First and foremost, though, why are we having this conversation where you seem to be more upset at the owner than you are at the kid? If the kid wasn't running around in the store doing what he was doing, the store owner may not have been what he was sent to do, or he wouldn't have said what he said out his mouth. But again, we don't know the full story. We don't know what happened before they start rolling the footage. I don't know. It's just one of them things. It's not the first time I've seen this before. I've seen cases like this in like a Walmart, a Target. You see it in fast food places. Parents are too friendly with their kids. You let them get away with too much. and then when somebody reacts in direct reflection of what your kid is putting out there, because clearly listening to the way she was acting, I'm sure the kid act just like her.
Yeah.
What happens if your child is out here by itself and there's no supervision and he's moving just like that, and then someone decides to respond that way, but it don't go the way you think it's going to go? Then how you're going to feel? It's too many kids being killed because of these type of attitudes and behavior patterns. What do you say to that?
Well, it's society has changed in many places, in many places, right? And I just hope that the kid has some positive influences somewhere. Respect has changed in the way that life is just different, right? I'm beginning to be 50 this year, right? And when I grew up, like, you just behaved. If you didn't behave, then you got in trouble, right, with your parents. And even the police would kind of give you a kicking, right, or whatever back then. Yeah. But now, in some places where I live, I mean, I live in Croatia, right? So it's different. It's different here. A lot of kids are quite respectful of older people. I mean, I train with, in this MMA gym I go to, I train with, the teacher's 42, right? And I'm 49. And I train with kids who are up, from 12, maybe 10 up to, my age, right? As I'm the oldest. Yeah. So, and they are really respectful because I'm older. Like I could be maybe perhaps a grandfather of one of them, and they respect me, and they're polite, but the thing is that when we're growing up, if we don't have a positive influence from somewhere, then we can end up behaving like her, and then the generational, it carries on generation after generation until there's like an awareness. There needs to, at some point, we need to be aware that actually we're not behaving very well, and at that point, then we can change the next generation, right? Because it has to stop somewhere. But then you have to know that you've got a problem before you can change anything in life, right? And maybe someone will see that video and say, hey, do you need some help here? Maybe I can give you some guidance, because maybe you're unhappy here in your life and you're taking it out on your maybe people who you meet, and you don't want to hear any parenting advice. Maybe she hasn't got a husband. Maybe she's can't afford to pay the bills. All of these stresses can really weigh us down to the point where we have a breaking point. And that, in my opinion, that breaking point is what you just saw with her. She totally snapped because she couldn't control herself, right? And it's just awful. I mean, thankfully I didn't listen to it that loud, but like, imagine that shouting in your ear. Like that guy might even have nightmares from hearing that in his brain. It's horrendous, to be honest. Just horrendous. But I just don't get it, man, really. Like I can understand it, but I just don't quite get it,
I'm glad you brought up just one point, and our circumstances in life. They can pile up on you, and I mean really pile up on you. Between generational curses that never get dealt with because your fathers and your mothers, they had things going on with them that they never rebuked and cast out. People don't want to talk about that part of it, but we got to be realistic. When the enemy can successfully find a way in your household, the way that he can disrupt and alter your life, you would never think that it was possible until you start to see the ramifications of it, the trickle effect. It changes your personality, your character, your spirit. You could have been one of the most innocent kids in the world, one of the most pure, kind hearted human beings in the world. And when it's all said and done, heaven forbid, you make it to a specific age, life can completely alter everything about you. And I really look at her in situations like this, and I really believe not only were there patterns that were never addressed in her upbringing, but she's also passing them along too. She doesn't see what she's doing and how it's going to directly impact her kids and anybody that's connected to her as well. And it's sad. It's not a real popular point of view, but it's the reality that we face. And she's very fortunate that this man had the restraint that he did, even though, you know, he kind of snapped on her to a certain extent. He did hold back. He told her, look, I'm not selling to you. You basically, he should have just told her that 2 seconds into the video. The minute you start screaming and yelling at me, nah, you good. I'm not selling you nothing. Bye.
Yeah.
You know, we grown. We're all adults here. There's a way to talk to people. Don't take your frustrations out on me. Don't take all of that is fine. We all got stuff going on. But even with me, I'm not going to go into your establishment and spaz out on you or your customers or people that you work with acting a fool in there for many reasons. One, because the stereotypes. You're not about to categorize me in that light. Two, because you're trying to make money. This is your business. I don't want to scare your people or and have them saying, "Oh, we got one of them. I don't want to go back there no more because I'm gonna run." You're not about to put me in that. No, I'm like, there's just too many things that I think about when I go out in public to do whatever. But the generational thing, the sinning, the iniquity, the burdens, the heaviness, the spiritual heaviness, the mirth, all that stuff factors into this. I just wish people would wake up to it and start realizing that it's more than just you. You have kids that you're looking after. They're watching you. What are you teaching them? What are they going to grow up to be?
Yeah. I mean, I think providing that child has someone that they can talk to, they may be able to actually change the entire outcome for themselves, right? Not for the parent, perhaps, depending upon if they actually listen to advice or not. But actually, for example, if there's a child out there whose mother or father drinks a lot of booze, takes a lot of drugs, right? The child doesn't necessarily fall into that trap if they've got the right people and the right guidance externally to that household, in my particular opinion. And they actually will look upon it as a bad thing instead of, just copying the behavior. But I think it definitely depends on the age of the child. It depends, it really does. And it's not an easy thing at all. And yeah, it's just sad, isn't it, to see these things change in society over the years. And the internet has got a lot to do with these things, because this behavior, it's almost like encouraged in many ways. It's like, well, maybe her friend was there and said, well, why don't we just create a video and you can abuse this guy, and then we'll will create a viral video. Like we honestly don't know, and this is something that I worry about really, because people can do all sorts of things, can't they, these days?
That's scary. That's scary. You know, I click on a video today, and first thing that came to my mind was, is this real or is this AI generated? Because you don't know anymore.
No.
It's getting to the point to where you got to question every single thing that's being uploaded. Then you got to factor in, well, what type of messages are they trying to put out here? Was it at what they want us to see specifically? There's always something negative, something sexual, something racially driven. It's more or less based around criminal activity or something to do with promiscuity. And you combine that with the level of conversations that's being had around them, you got to ask yourself, what are we really doing here? What is the message that we're trying to put out there? See, I seen this video. I've been sitting on this clip for a few weeks now. Never got a chance to talk about it. And I needed the right eyes and ears on this one because most people won't care about it. I mean, let's be honest. You go out right now to a store and then you see this. You just stand in the line waiting to get your stuff. And you see that. How does that make you feel? What are you thinking in your head when you see this?
It's a good question. I mean, the question is, do we get involved or not? I think that's for me, that most people are not thinking, do we get involved or not? They're thinking, should I record this or not? And this is the big issue. Like, you see all this stuff going on, and I see all sorts of problems, all sorts of videos out there that look real, yeah, and people are just standing there recording. It's like, hold on, you're standing there recording, right? I just saw one earlier. There was this kid like pulling a fish hook out of a small shark's gills, yeah, with some pliers, and he was sitting on the shark on the beach, and he was trying to help, and everybody is just filming. Everybody, no one is like trying to help him and like grabbing the tail or sitting on it with him or doing anything. And we've become some sort of group of photographers, videographers, right? And that's why, like, the people that actually take action are really quite rare these days. And even the police encourage you to not do anything. That's what's also interesting, is that they are in England, certainly, they're like, well, if you see something, just call the police, right? And it's like, then the police show up, and generally they're badly trained in martial arts. They can't defend themselves, a lot of these people, and not picking on anyone in particular. But I think that actually they need some certain grappling skills. They need to learn how to defend themselves. This guy running that shop should go and enroll in a jiu-jitsu gym or judo or grappling or something and learn how to throw these people out, right? But the problem isn't just throwing them out. The problem is the repercussions afterwards, right? So let me give you an example. Say you shut your shop at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., you close it, you go home, right? That woman or people that you throw out, they come back in the middle of the night, they bring a brick, they smash the window, they don't even steal anything, they don't care. They just want to inconvenience you. So actually, the situation can just escalate. And this is the major issue that I see with that sort of problem. I used to work in an off license, so I know about what things can kind of happen. Thankfully, that didn't happen to me when I was working behind the counter. But it's just disturbing that people think that it's okay to let their kids run amok. That's what's disturbing, But I see it all the time when I'm out and about, and I see parents like one kid's like face down on the floor in the supermarket, and the parent is just looking at the kid and going, come on. And as long as you don't give that kid attention, right, too much attention, they're not going to continue with that behavior. They're just going to get up and they're going to carry on. But the moment you give the kid more attention for behaving badly, they keep doing it because they don't get enough attention. So there's a whole psychological piece going down there, Creed. I'm sorry to go on a bit, but I think there's just masses to think about there, really.
Nah, you good. You good. I'm not mad at it at all. In fact, just to even add more to it, we don't have no community. The tribe is gone. You don't have uncles. You don't have pedestrians who are looking and saying, "Oh, we have a problem here. Let's intercede." Nobody wants to do anything. It's just mind your business, out of sight, out of mind. But think about this: all of this turning your ear and your eye away. What has it benefited anybody? People have gone to jail, gotten beaten, gotten hurt, died because we've turned our backs and our ears and our eyes. They're not your kids, but you see these kids out here smoking and drinking and doing God knows what, but because they're not your kids, you don't care. There's no accountability for nothing or nobody. So you telling me I can do whatever I want. I'm going to do whatever I want. Now, when I'm on NBC or I'm a meme or a rage bait post on social media, you guys want to get in the comment section and say, what happened to the mom? What happened to this person? What happened to that person? What happened to you? Where were you at? Why didn't you say something? What did you expect? The parent to just teleport to the crime? They just supposed to instinctively know what's happening while they're at work? But you're right there. But guess what? TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. You want to go viral. You want to be popular. You want clicks and likes. Nobody really cares about the development of these minds. No one comprehends the level of sin, heaviness, the sadness, the aching, the yearning that a lot of these kids are looking for. A lot of the adults you've never healed. You're still broken. And you're taking your brokenness out on the younger generation. Everything that happened to you, you're taking it out on everybody else. And that's not right. Nobody wants to stand in the gap and do anything anymore. And if you talk about it, you're corny. You're going against the grain. You're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to. What? So what are we supposed to do? Just let society collapse? Are we just supposed to watch everything burn around us? I don't just say the stuff just to say. I'm really asking the questions to people. What are we supposed to do?
Well, I mean, you said so much there, and I mean, I'm sort of looking at it from a similar perspective, really. I'm kind of a bit lost, right, in the way that life is for a lot of people, and unfortunately, in many situations that the church used to be a great place, and people used to go there when they were broken, and then they would get fixed, right, in many ways, and they would embrace God and become better citizens, right, is how I would look at it. But unfortunately now people don't do that in many ways, although I think it's Generation Z? That's actually a lot more people are actually embracing God now, which is a great thing. But I think that it is totally different in all sorts of countries, right? Everything is different in many ways. But TikTok and these sorts of apps, they create a sort of temporary relief for people. So they don't actually go and fix their problems. They just go onto the app and lose themselves for half an hour, and it makes them feel better. And I'm just lost, really. I'm lost for words. And I think, that's quite a rare thing for me. But it's why more and more people need to get into martial arts training. And unfortunately, there's, the past 20, 30 years, there's been this, well, what do you want to do that for kind of an attitude? And why do you want to go and learn boxing? Well, no, you don't want to learn boxing. You should, take up needlework or something. And there are just all sorts of these people that are actually, and it's not left or right. It's just like they don't understand the benefits of training, right? And actually building knowledge around self-defense skills, which I think are important. But the problem is, over there where you are, is there are a lot of guns, right? A lot of guns, a lot of gangs. But there are gangs everywhere you go, right? So like, why not just organize some violence and put them in the ring and have some organized violence, right? It's much better, in my opinion. Yeah. And that would solve a lot of these problems. I've seen the change in some of these kids, right? Like one of these kids, in particular, came to class about a year ago. This is a new class, right? So it will be a year in June or July. And this kid, he was moody, he was quite rude, and you can just see the change in the character of people when they actually are training something and they start to understand themselves a bit better, and they have the mentorship, and mentorship is a huge thing, in my opinion. Huge thing, an untapped potential, really, to be honest.
There's so many different ways that we could cultivate healthier relationships. There's tools, there's infrastructures, there's people that are willing to do it. It's not like we're just completely handicapped. We're not. But this stuff has been taught. And then you have to be strong enough and have the will and the desire to want to counter everything that is negative that they're trying to put out there in our face. All of this is not by coincidence. They're trying to break us down, and they've been doing it for a while now. I put a post up that was describing this very same thing, and I thought it was so accurate. It said something along the lines of only 5% of us are woke to what's happening. It said about 80% of us are in the dark, while the 5% are trying to convince the 80% about what's actually happening. And then the majority is trying to make sure that the 5% don't get the message out there to the rest of them. Now, I really, really wanted to emphasize that because I see it. Everything is policed. You got to be very careful with what you say. You get punished for actually chastising someone. And there's a difference between chastising and actually being ruthless, aggressive, petty, vengeful. Chastisement has nothing to do with me hating you. Just because I chastise you don't mean that I'm your enemy. or that I have an ulterior motive. Maybe I just want to see you in a better position in life. Boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, all that stuff, it takes a different mindset to be able to do that type of stuff. And there's other lessons that come with it. It's not about just throwing fist and feet. It's about rewiring and restructuring the way that you view the world, changing your perspective about your realities. Because a lot of this stuff that we're looking at has been thrown right there in our face specifically to give you brain rot. There's just as much spiritual warfare as it is physical. It's probably more spiritual than it is physical to me. But nobody wants to believe in the spiritual part. You don't want to see that side of it. So I asked you this question. What now? What did you say to the 5% that think like we do, and we don't have no bad vibes? We're not out here trying to burn the city down. We just trying to help in the best ways we know how. Like, I'm a small channel. I ain't reaching millions and millions of people, but I would like, before my last breath, I would like to think that I would be able to at least help somebody, at least one person. Save your soul. The objective.
I think over time, more and more people are realizing this stuff, right? More and more people are realizing that actually it is a great world in many ways, but the major issue is that the people on the edges of the left and right are basically just they won't talk to each other. So because they're triggered by fake news, right? And this fake news has become so powerful in the way that it manipulates people, and unfortunately people just don't understand, and a lot of them don't want to understand. And this is something that I've been in that situation before. It's just like you believe something so strongly that you cancel everyone out who believes the opposite, and then sooner or later you actually end up believing probably the opposite. And that's what's so bizarre, because the truth is an odd thing, right? Like there's your truth, there's my truth, and then there's the real truth, right? And that video with that lady and her son, like we're not there, so we don't know what the truth is, right? So we're seeing a video which excuse me, which could have been manipulated, could have only started maybe after some really bad stuff happened and we didn't see it from either side, so we don't know. And we just pick a side based upon what we think we know, right? Which is the truth that we think is the truth. And it's just, people just need to be a bit calmer, right? And actually, that is just something that I've struggled with myself for years, just to remain calm when everything externally looks like it's a complete nightmare. And we have to just trust and have faith that it's all going to work out. And I do have faith it's all going to work out. I don't know how, but I think, you know, there are many people that are trying to work it out. It isn't just one person, or it isn't just us who are just talking about this. There are millions of people on this planet who want things to work out, and, you know, who pray a lot and actually think positively. And I'm not talking about like a delusionary positive. I'm talking about a positive thinking that is, God given, God guided, whatever, however you want to look at it. But I'm a big believer in that, to be honest.
I think all of this is prophetic. Everything that we're seeing, I believe there's going to be a few people who wake up. I don't think it's going to be enough. What matter of fact, put it this way: whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen, one way or another. I have a lot of faith that the more we push this, not in a way where we're forcing it down people's throat, but where we're compassionate. You have to be anointed. You have to be aligned with your purpose. You have to direct. You have to be consistent. And you have to keep putting it out there in order for folks to really take notice to it. Eventually, you'll get the people who are supposed to see it, they will see it and they will make their voices heard and they will do their part. It's just sad to me when I see sisters like her crashing out the way that they are, not really fully aware that there's things going on with you that you have no idea is happening to you internally. And the scary part is you feel right into it. And don't get it twisted. I'm not that far away from you. I'm not violent and all that. But we all have our stuff. Nobody is perfect. It's the part where it's time to do some self-checking. Start looking at you in the mirror. Do some soul searching. None of that half stuff where you just pretending like you see it, but you brush it off and go on with the rest of it. No, you really gotta check it and really check it now because people are dropping left and right. Life is not permanent. You're not on this planet forever. Once you leave, you leave. I'm tired of seeing kids growing up looking at the world so ugly when it doesn't have to be. So I mean that's part of the reason why I do what I do over here. I know it's a motive. I know they want to kill off the people. I know they not really for us uniting and being under one umbrella and creating that fist. They don't want it. We need it though.
Yeah, we do. But I think that we're sitting here with an opportunity of a lifetime, right? We've got a situation with AI being so widely available that it is actually the biggest opportunity of our lifetimes, in my personal opinion. Many people have said it, and what we've got on the other side is we've got the people that are just completely ignoring it or think that it's just about writing a text message or an email or something, right? When actually, if you're serious about your self-development, you can take control of it by digging into your history, digging into your belief system, digging into your behaviors, right? And actually, the major problem is people don't have time. And they don't have time because they're stressed, because they need to make money. And the stress is putting them in a fight or flight mode. And that fight or flight mode restricts. it restricts the brain from working effectively. And this is a major issue with a lot of people, in my opinion.
I agree. Man, that everybody don't grow up in the same living conditions is very difficult to tell someone how to navigate that, because you might have grew up in a picket fenced house with farm animals, and your community is gated, and you ain't never had to worry about a struggle plate in your life. Or you could have grew up in a crack house, or you could have grew up in a gang neighborhood. How do you blend the two? There's a beauty, a terrible, beautiful mess that comes from turning something that nobody expected to be something into something that is more than what you anticipated. My final thoughts on this right here, to my single parents, mothers, like specifically the ones who think like her or move like her, get some therapy. Surround yourself with some more positive people that speak affirmations, positive ones. Really think about why you are the way you are, and if this is really a good thing. Because I can say I'm a decent and kind person, I can do all this and do all that, but in reality, does my life reflect that? Does the outcomes reflect everything that I say out my mouth? We can act and pretend like we're self-righteous and holy and all of these different things, but if it's not showing up for us as our witness, then we're just talebearers. And I think a lot of people run away from that. I think the scary part is actually facing the fact that you might just be the problem. And that's all I got on this. So, I mean, first of all, I want to say I thank you for being here this morning. This was a great discussion. If you have anything that you want to close out with and say to the people before we exit, the floor is yours.
Well, I want to thank you for inviting me. It's been a deep. Really, I had no idea how deep this conversation was going to get, but it's been deep. And I think some of the most successful people on this planet grew up the poorest, right? Because they became the most determined to become successful. And I think we all suffer in life, right? We all suffer, and we can all do better, and I think taking some time every morning, just 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe, to just pray and write a journal to yourself and think about the goals that you have. Those things make a huge difference, in my personal opinion. So yeah, I think that's it from me too. God bless you and your audience.
God bless you as well, and everybody that pulled up this morning. Sydney will be on later on for the folks. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going back into the studio to get some more work done. But y'all take care, drive safe, and I will see you guys later, Lord willing.
dump truck, slave songs, slave ship, rip skin, made me rip bones. But no matter how close I hide, my ancestors speak. They tell me the tide is in front on us like we're weak. I haven't been getting sleep, longing to sing until I surpass peak. Until they think we are equal, please. All I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their bones would bleed, begging the generations remember our.